just like it. Oh, it hurts. I know it hurts. We'll welcome in Cerrone Battle in here in just a second, but we'll line it up for everybody. You're coming home from the game. You want to talk about it. We'll put you through. We'll give our takes. It's real. This one's real easy tonight. 3 big topics. 3 things stood out. And, again, Celtics lose at home, breaking their winning streak at home. Phone number 617-779-0985. And we're on Twitch if you want to chat in, twitch.tv/The Sports Hub. Cerrone Battle, sir. Easy enough to say that the duo of Jokic and Murray were better than the duo of Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum tonight.
Yeah, that's elite duo work right there. That's Magic and Kareem type stuff. That's best duo in the league type stuff right there. They do this occasionally to people, and the Celtics are on the wrong end of it. But the most frustrating thing to me is with them two going for about 70 tonight, the Celtics still should have won the game.
Absolutely.
They still should have won that game, even with those two having a night. They still should have won the game, and they shot themselves not in the foot but in each toe over and over again, and they ruined it for themselves.
So Jokic Murray is one of my big points and takeaways tonight, which stands out clearly. I thought the non-Jokic minutes when Jokic was on the bench, Jamal Murray was outstanding. That was it. They couldn't capitalize on it. That was my second takeaway. And, just quite frankly, only 2 points in the final 4 minutes and 50 seconds. Like, you can't score 2 points in 5 minutes and expect to win the game. And, down crunch time, they struggled. So those are my 3 takeaways. But I got a little bit of PTSD in this. Like, it was a playoff-like atmosphere. Mm-hmm. And they played the game like it was the playoffs last year. And I hate to say, bad taste in your mouth, but this is exactly what we saw a year ago, and the same things popped up. And I'll throw in Jaylen Brown as well, who had 13 points. It's just he has to be better.
Yeah, and he did what I've been crying about, screaming about all year, and people keep saying, I keep bringing it up, but they're still in first place. They shot themselves out of it. Again, they shot themselves out of it. Tatum and Brown, what'd they go? 2 for 20? From 3 or something like that. 2 for 17 for 3 combined. Jaylen Brown with 1 for 9 from 3. He missed 2 free throws late, and he took 19 shots, 9 of them were threes. But he several times had mismatches. He had Murray when Murray had it going in that quarter when Jokic was out. He had Murray on him. That's like Shaq would say, it's barbecue chicken. You could have put that kid in foul trouble. You could have erased him out of the game, took his legs away. But instead, you give it up. You bail him out shooting threes. Joe, how many times tonight did the Celtics have these rallies where it was they take a 3, miss it, offensive rebound, 3, miss it, offensive rebound, 3, miss it? That happened about 3 times in this game where they missed 4 or 5 in a row on offensive rebounds and never took a shot in the lane. And then one as a crucial one in the third quarter where they missed 5 or 6 in a row. Murray gets it on the outlet. He goes straight down court, gets a layup. And it's like, if you would have did that on that end, you would have got a bucket. But instead, you just lived at the 3-point line, and Nuggets were kind of in the zone, daring them to shoot it. And they kept shooting it because the Nuggets' individual players aren't great defenders. Murray's not a good defender. Jokic is not a good defender. KCP can't handle Jason Tatum. But instead, they kept kicking it out. Derek White had a good game, but he took 12 3-pointers, 5 for 12. That's too many. The lane was there all night. Porzingis, they went to him early to set the tone and then said, all right, that worked. Let's never go back to that again the rest of the game. Like, what was that all about? They ruined it for themselves and fell back into old habits. Well, I say old habits because some of these guys are new here. They fell into, this works against Houston. Let's see if this will work against Denver. And by the time they realized it wasn't working, they realized they was in a heavyweight fight and it was too late.
So I couldn't agree more on that one. There's a lot of things that happened tonight, and I agree with you. They beat themselves. We can how many games? Golden State, Indy, right? Tonight. It's just they beat themselves, and I hate – you know what? We need to be critical. Joe Mazzulla, you have to look at him. I mean, this philosophy that he has, they've won. Listen, they got the best record in the league. I get it. But when your two best players are 2 for 17 from 3, and we sit here in postgame talking about how many times they're going to the free throw line, and they go 5 times tonight. It was like all these great things that they're doing. When it comes down to it, they get pushed around a little bit, and then they stop going to the basket and settle for threes. It's like you put a big man in the middle, they get pushed around, and boom, they change their game plan. It's frustrating because we've seen it time after time.
Yeah, and look, Jokic couldn't defend Porzingis either. We saw it in the first 5 minutes of the game. Like, he don't want to go out there and contest that. He was like Embiid. He was caught in no man's land. Should I stay here or go out and chase it? So he just stood in the middle of the court, and Porzingis got open shot after open shot. And then when he would come out, Porzingis would go by. They'd find him. He'd get layups. And that's why he has such a big first quarter, first half, whatever. Second half, you saw Porzingis. ESPN did a little graphic, too. And Porzingis is like 4th in the NBA at average three-point distance at like 27 feet. Fourth quarter, you saw it. Porzingis was way out. No matter who was on him, he was 30 feet away from the basket. Or when they gave him the ball, he was at the top of the key of the foul line instead of being on the low block, getting easier attempts. He was pulled away from the basket, and the Nuggets were like, good, just stay out there. Jokic was like, fine, I'll sit there and get every rebound because your best big is way out away from the rim, and I got the lane all to myself. They didn't take advantage of the mismatches. You brought in Holiday and Derek White because they're elite defensive guards. Elite, the best tandem in the league. Like what would they call the other? Stock exchange?
The stock exchange, yep.
Stock exchange, exactly. The stock dropped tonight. But the stock exchange, what they do on defense, you should have had them hassling Murray the whole game. You should have had, once he got hot, where my 2 dogs at? You guys got him. Take him out of this. And instead, they were just switching for no reason. Like, why is Cornette on Murray 30 feet away? That's not going to work. Then he switch again. Al Horford's caught on him. These are old habits. These are old coaching tendencies and things that have been taught to them to just naturally do. There was no reason to take your best on-ball, all-star level defenders off of their guard, especially when Jokic was out of the game, and it burned them. He just took advantage of it and got layup after layup. Mid-range jumper, he was killing them. And by the time they adjusted to it, it was too late. They was in a dogfight.
He killed them. I agree. He was something tonight. Every time I heard Murray, another one, I was like, they talk. My head turned every time I heard that. But
you heard it a lot.
We heard it a lot. We heard it so much. Someone texted me that we should do a segment called Murray in a Hurry because that's how he was shooting. He got to that elbow and was there fast. All right, let's get instant reaction. Let's listen. We got people coming home from the game. We're here till 11 o'clock tonight. So let's start with Zeke in Woburn. Hey, Zeke.
Yeah, Joe Mazzulla, 3 times towards the end of the game, 3 different plays called, and he couldn't get it done. I mean, unbelievable. Joe Mazzulla continues to fail us towards the end of the game. Brad Stevens could get it done. Joe Mazzulla obviously is not the guy.
No, so I think we should be critical of Mazzulla tonight.
Yeah, he didn't make the adjustments.
Yep. He got out-coached. I think he got out-coached.
Yeah. Oh, he did. Oh, I mean, you're dealing with one of the best. You're dealing with a veteran. You're dealing with, somebody with some seasoning. And you're dealing also with a roster and a core that's been together now longer. So he doesn't have to say much. Hey, we need to do this, we do that, and his guys are going to adjust. That 5 has been together now for a few hundred games. They understand what they're supposed to do. The Celtics are still caught in. Should I play this guy here? Should I play that guy? Should I go double big? Whatever. The Nuggets already know what they need to do and how they're going to do it. They know where the ball is going. They understand how to get open. Jokic is he's the best passer in the NBA. But the thing that makes it really work is his guys know how to get open and get space, and they're ready to get those passes. It's almost like Dan Marino's playing center, and the receivers know where to go and where to find space. And he finds them as soon as they come free. So everybody knows what to do. They know their role. And Mazzulla's issue is the guys have to understand their role. They have to know where to be when certain guys have the ball in certain situations. He has to simplify what they need to do in key stretches. When I see Jason Tatum with Jamal Murray on him or KCP, there's no need to pull the clipboard out and start drawing stuff up. Just give him the ball on the low block and let the guys adjust. If the double comes, if your man leaves, you flash to the basket. Don't sprint to the three-point line. You cut to the basket and get an easy layup. It shouldn't be that hard because you're watching them smoke you with it on the other end. It's right there in front of you. But he has to tell them, look, guys, stop settling, get the easier bucket, move the ball. Let's go back to what we did early in the game that gave us a lead. And instead, he just let them shoot themselves out of it.
617-779-0985. Let's talk to Joe in Swampscott. Hey, Joe.
Hey, Joe. How you doing?
Good, man.
I had a couple things. So, first of all, Mike Malone outcoached Joe Mazzulla by far a lot. Joe wouldn't make any adjustments, shooting all the threes. It's like, they wouldn't even take any shots in the paint, It made no sense whatsoever. It's depressing to watch.
The Peyton Pritchard defense on Murray, I just didn't like that lineup at the time.
Yeah, he should have started a fight or something, man. You better off biting him, man. That do something, man. Pull his pants, do something. But, I mean, he got cooked. But you're talking about an all-star level guard there. I think he should have been an all-star at some point in his career. He hasn't been there yet. But when he gets it going, he gets it going. He could have been fine. He could have been finals MVP, a playoff MVP. He was that good for them. When he's healthy, he's a monster. And he's killed this team before. Celtics had a game in Denver a couple years ago. He had like 40-something points. He kind of gets up for the Celtics. But you have to make that adjustment. You can't have him getting all these weird drives to the lane. And one thing, Scal pointed out during the game, and I'm noticing Mazzulla do this a lot, and it seems like they got such a big lead that they're working on this. That 2-1-2 zone needs to be thrown in the trash and never used again. They've been going to it the last couple of weeks, and you can get away with it against bad teams or bad offensive teams. Tonight, Murray and Jokic just ate that up. They shot 75% from the floor, the two of them, and they were just picking on that zone. And the shots they did miss were easy ones. Jokic missed a couple easy bunnies in the fourth quarter where he was in that zone. He came free right in the middle of the lane, and it kind of like he missed because he was so surprised that he was open. Get rid of that zone. You have the talent to defend. You have the size. You don't need to be practicing using a 2-1-2 zone or any type of zone you want to use. Not with this team. They're too good for that. And it got them burned against a smart team. Jokic is too smart. And I said it during the game. The dude he's the modern day version of Larry Bird. Even shooting behind his head. He's Larry Bird. He is too smart. There's nothing you can do about it. He's going to figure you out. And trying to run a zone against him is suicide. It's not going to work.
There was, you mentioned Scal in the so we're here working the radio broadcast, but there were times where I was watching Porzingis, who again was cooking in the first half, right? 19 points. Guess what he finished with? 21. And just in general, the team fell apart in the second half. They had 61 points on 42 possessions in the first half. Second half, 39 points on 43 possessions. And I'm putting a little blame on Porzingis, but I do think it's more Mazzulla. You have to move Jokic out of the play. You can't let him again. Porzingis at times was just standing around, and Jokic was there, and they settled for the shot instead of going at the basket. And I think it was because of physicality more than anything. But if you just moved Jokic away a little bit, I think they could have penetrated and kept the lead and sustained it. Instead, they got missing, and that's when Murray went off.
Yeah, and I think you went away from it. Porzingis ended the game. He only had 2 points in the second half, whatever it was. I think he might have got it on a free throw, too, on a couple free throws. But he only took 11 shots, and I swear he took 8 of them in the first quarter. He only took 11 shots. That's not enough attempts against this team. You should have went after Jokic and make him work, make him use his energy. These are things they don't do. They didn't do it against Steph when they lost that big game in Golden State. Make him play defense. Make him sweat. Like you said, get him away from the basket. Early on, he had to sit down and put his jacket on because Porzingis was killing him, and he was tired trying to get up and down the court, and they just couldn't keep up. But when you settle and you stand around, it allows him to catch his breath. It allows him to rest on defense. He stands in that zone, and it allows him to rebound. He's just standing in the lane. You miss. He's under the basket by himself. He gets the rebound. That's how he puts the triple-double on you. He's too good. You have to work him. Or if Jokic is defending somebody else, that means Porzingis has a mismatch, no matter who else is on the team. If Jokic is somewhere else, Porzingis has a mismatch. Scrap the play. Get him on the low block and dump it down to him. They have no choice but to foul him if he's 5 feet from the basket. Instead, you're playing him 20, 25 feet away, not even to pick and pop. He's just standing out there like setting screens.
Yep.
And it just you watch them just fall apart. And they still had a chance to win the game at the end. But it's just little things that they have to do that they have to make natural. So Missoula doesn't have to say anything, that they had to learn on the fly. But got out coached, you got outplayed by their superstars. Jaylen Brown settled a lot tonight, kind of got lost in the magic a little bit there. And Holiday didn't have a great game either. He started going to the basket late, but he was off early. Your bench didn't give you much, and you still had a chance to win this game. Small adjustments, small tweaks, and you'd be the most dominant team in the league.
Agree. I think Missoula was going to take a lot of heat after this one, but let's not let Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown off the hook either. Phone number 617-779-0985. It's Joe Murray, Cerrone Battles here as well. We're reacting to the Celtics' first home loss of the year. They were 20-0. So much for that $4,000 bet we were talking about the other night. That one's done with. Skaz is in the lab right now. There are some interesting things coming out right now. Obviously, we're on the air, but Perk is going at Missoula. There's shots being taken at Tatum. There's a lot of stuff going on. We'll play that at some part. You got any more back there? Because I've seen two at least.
Yeah, I mean it's typical, overreaction. They lost by 2 points to the defending champs.
Yeah. Oh no, I think we all all the three of us here. I think we have tempered expectations. They beat themselves tonight. It was bad. We're tipping our cap to Jokic and Murray, who were awesome. A few tweaks here and there, they win this game. But when is it going to happen naturally? And that's my problem right now.
I mean, they just beat Minnesota, arguably the best team in the league, in overtime, where Tatum took over overtime and outscored the entire Minnesota team in overtime. So it's just, people love to overreact. It is what it is. Kendrick Perkins is Kendrick Perkins. He'll say anything in front of him.
Yeah, wait till you hear this one, sir. Well, we'll save that one.
I mean, I think Missoula was not great tonight. I think Jaylen Brown and Tatum were both not great tonight. Yep. And Jokic and Murray were Jokic and Murray. So you're going to lose games like that. It's going to happen.
It's going to happen. It was on display tonight. It just, man, it had a playoff feel, and I hate to keep saying it, but it looked like the Celtics.
It did. I mean, you have to give. I mean, at the end of the day, it was Jokic. That's what it came down to. They had the best player on the court. That's what it was. It was a tight game. They had the best player in the league on the floor, and he had it going. And, they average 116 points a game. You kept them to 102, and you lost. So, I mean, they had the best player. His sidekick was going. And eventually you have to just say, man, it was just his night. The best players going in, they're home wreckers. They go in and mess things up for you, and that's what they do. And Jokic, he did it tonight and did it the whole game.
Ricky is in Lynn. Hey, Ricky, you're on with Joe Murray and Cerrone Battle. How are you?
Hey, I just wanted to mention that air ball, that Caldwell Pope air ball, which Tatum grabbed the rebound. Why didn't Missoula call a timeout right there? There's 22 seconds left on the clock. You have possession. You could take the timeout, draw something up, and then you're only down by one, and then you could take the two for the win, as opposed to the end of the game where you're down by two and then you're shooting two for a tie. I don't know. That's just what I think. Let me know what you guys think.
Yeah, that was Skaz and I looked at each other and went, oh boy. And there was another one, right, on a jump ball that was a little interesting as well.
The jump ball. Yeah, all they had to do was catch it and call timeout, and they would advance the ball and everything, but they didn't. They didn't do it at all. I think he's talking about the play. Is that the one where Tatum got it and ran down court 1-on-4 and he almost made the layup?
Yep.
I think they could have got a timeout there. And I think at the time it was only a 2-point game, a 1-point game or something like that. But, yeah, it's little things. And I think what happens with him, he kind of gets a brain fart. He kind of locks up. In tight situations, not sure what to do. When the game is quarters 1 through 3, he's fine. He's calm. Yep, do this, do that. I think when things get tight, he kind of not panics, but kind of gets lost in the moment of watching the game as opposed to watching what's going on and making the right call and the right decision. And that goes with being really, really young. He's really young, And Malone is really old, and
I'm not giving him a pass for that. They spent.
I'm not. He got to understand.
They spent money. Who they bring in? Sam Cassell's there. They got. They got some really, really good assistants here, and Van Gundy's up top. Stevens is up there. Like, this is why they spent the money to bring these guys in. So late in games, I don't know. You make the right play. Here we are again questioning Joe Mazzulla for something that happened in a tight game that seems to come up all the time.
Yeah. I mean, they probably – I'm guessing they're sitting on the bench looking at him like, dude, you going to call timeout or what? Like
chirping, right?
Yeah, like, okay, all right, what are you going to – we've talked about this. Or is it a case – I don't know this for a fact. Please don't say Cerrone said, or maybe he's looking at them like, I'll make the decision. Mm-hmm. Let me make this. I got this. And they put their hands up. All right, man, you got it. And then when it doesn't work, he has to sit up there and answer questions. Hopefully he answers the questions and get out of there safe tonight and doesn't say anything crazy. But, I mean, these are things that he has to do better. And he has to take this one on him and say, you know what, I got out coached tonight. That's it. That's simple. I got out coached. I got to do a better job of getting my guys better opportunities. We play great defense. Even though those guys got 70, we still kept them as a team to 102 points. And normally when we do that, we win. And we lost. We talked about this the other night, that third quarter. They lost it in the third quarter again. Coming out of halftime, not making adjustments, not going back to Porzingis, your big prize. Not finding ways to get Holiday on the low post where he was effective a little bit. Making it easier on yourself. He has to say, I got to get my guys easier opportunities, and I didn't do that tonight. Take his lumps and move on, and we'll be talking about playoff football tomorrow. He can't say anything that's going to make people say, wait a minute now. He can't do anything. Don't say anything wild. Take the L and move on to Houston Sunday and get through today.
A couple of people on Twitch. I'm pissed, Joe, but at least I have a pizza with a sausage and onions and ricotta. That last possession was the Carlton half-court shot on Fresh Prince. And 39 second half points is Mikey's in Waltham. Hey, Mikey.
Hey, Joe. Hey, guys. Yep. What I wanted to say is that I agree with you, Joe, saying that this kind of looked like the same old Celtics. I don't know if you guys saw the Kevin O'Connor tweet, but 2 points in the final 4 minutes and 50 seconds. Mm-hmm. This game wasn't lost because of Jokic and Murray being so much better than the Jays tonight. It's just we couldn't execute on offense, which is a sad pattern that has been a thing for over the past years. And all summer and fall, I was hearing it's because of Marcus Smart. It's his shot selection.
Ooh, thanks, Mikey. We're up against it. Let's hold that one, Cerrone. We got to go to a break. Let's hold that one. That's a good one right there. That's one.